what never gets old if I have the time is when I go serve inmates at the local jails, and they'll send a buddy up because the CO doesn't verify or make sure the person I'm looking for or needs to accept the documents comes up. I have attorney privileges, so I have a visitor's booth with a slot through it so I can pass paperwork. This one guy owed $78,000 in child support to numerous children. He sent 3 friends up before I went back to the front booth, and I know half the correctional officers down in Kent. And I said, this guy is wasting my time. I need to get home. Can you please call down there, have your coworker make sure that motherfucker comes up here? Sure enough, guy comes up, smiling, thinks it's funny. Here he's sitting in jail with $78,000 on his offspring that he hasn't paid a cent on. He's getting 3 meals and a cot every day, and when they get out, they don't pay it. They just vanish until they get locked up again.
Enter city. Enter street name.
I feel like I'm a little bit under the weather.
4. Select street.
I think I'm
Enter
just
street
hungover.
number. 3, 4, 2, 3.
It's hard working when the sun's out.
Address. Enter city. Enter street name.
Okay.
3. Select street.
Well, that's not the
Enter
one I
street
want.
number.
It's
Enter
like
street
maximum
number.
overdrive, man. It's like picking its
2,
own addresses
1.
for me. That makes sense now. Oh. Okay. Got Martin is over here in the trailer park. Put a fence up. Right. I don't want you guys on my property. It's so weird driving through the old neighborhood. Especially from, they used to have bushes right here, up on the right. And the guy that shot Carnahan's window out with a pellet gun, his name was Andy. He started dating Joanna Wilson. He lived right there. And I walked up here with my compound bow and stuck an arrow in his door, his car door. It was kind of funny because a few days later we saw the car and it was all bondoed. Oh, like a standoff. I would have lost. Big ass SUV. The old trailer park. Alright, 3 out of 4 occupants are Hispanic. They have a guard shack, but no one works in it. Well, this guy's. That guy was a little strange. He almost looked like a male prostitute. Oh, he's still looking back. It's like, come on, you guys looking for some action? No. You look weird, man. Oh my God. Speed bumps are built for 4-wheel drive trucks. Take one of those too fast in your Korean car. You need a whole new car. Every time I drive through here, that song plays in my mind. And the Bamba plays and plays over in my mind. And what doesn't help is I see a bunch of Hispanic people. Vans that look like they belong in Silence of the Lambs. No, wait. Was she that big fat girl? Yeah, she was big boned. I'll be black. Like the cat. That's weird. Martin! Yep, someone's getting an eye strain from looking through the peephole. Dude's not home. Kid's got a bigger shoe size than I do. Shoes are on the front door. And you hear someone stomping around in there. I can tell he's got kids because he's got a slow for children sign sitting right there in front. This kid probably freaked out and thought it was INS. Came to check some paperwork or something. They get scared. Like if white people come to the door, don't answer it if we're not home. Even if we are home, don't answer it. Because your dad's work visa, it expired like last month, so I'm gonna go back to Tijuana. It's kind of funny. People, the communities they live in, they get real comfortable when they're amongst their own race or people that speak their own language. And the minute you take them out of their comfort zone, they might as well be an alien. That's how they should feel anyways. Talk about a bunch of cocksuckers thinking the world revolves around them. Here's the one I'm looking for. This lady lives in the very corner of this complex. There's a lot of prostitutes on that road too. Let's see if this lady lives over here. I'd say she's probably home. Sun comes out and no one's home. I don't blame them. You can't chalk that one up. Just because they're in the house, don't get paid for people being home. They were home. Okay, we'll pay you still. No, doesn't work unless you fulfill due diligence, which is like 7 or 8 times where I work. And by that time, you average like a little bit over $1 per stop at the same residence. It's ridiculous. Interesting characters off 208th here on the right, and then 204th up here, all apartments. Not only do the prostitutes walk down these roads, it looks like the pimps do too, in their pajamas half the time I'm down here in the middle of the day. Probably the first and only time I've ever seen a guy in pajama tops and bottoms with a hat with a feather sticking out of it, purple feather. If that doesn't say I'm a pimp, pimping my own shit, I don't know what does. Anytime you can go to the store in your pajamas with a pimp hat on, it's like, you must be pretty comfortable in your own skin. I got this one coming up here, the next one we're going on. This is the 4th time I've been on it. 2 of the times there's been cars there, someone moving around. Something about these double wides. I mean, they're not the sturdiest thing built. You can ask a tornado that anytime you get a chance, but they think they're like log cabins. They run up and down, or they'll run from one end to the other and end up at the peephole. Peephole always goes black when someone's looking through it. It's kind of funny when people are looking through their peepholes and you call them on it. You're like, I can see you looking through your peephole. And then, what? It goes light. You can see the light behind it. So they duck and get out of the way. You can open the door. I'm just dropping something off, man. I'm not trying to sell anything. And half the time you'll have people yell through the door, who are you? I'm Tony. Like, then half the time they open the door, and the other half, I don't know it, Tony. Like, you will if you open the door. They don't open the door. I had a guy pull a knife on me over here at this apartment complex 3 years ago. Trash. Half of it's Section 8. There's one of my favorite people. I call them ninjas. They come in different, their clothing's different colored, but they all look the same. It's always Halloween to them. Look, man, the sun came out today, and I'm telling you, everybody's like, hey, guess what? Fuck you. Only double wide in the neighborhood. Everybody else bought a house, you're like, hey, I'd like the piece of land, but I'm a double wide guy. I know where the lady lives, but the people running the show that think they know everything about what we're doing from a desk in front of a computer monitor, that have no experience process surveying or have never tried to get any information from someone at their own residence on their own property. They say, okay, let's try this house and this house. Every address I've been to after the initial one, they say, yeah, she moved. She hasn't lived here in 3 years. She moved out 5 years ago. And I guarantee you, if I get someone at this door, this unit's not lived in by a 65-year-old white lady. The blinds are busted. It's all jacked up. There's men's shoes out front. I don't think so. But, you know, whatever. Yeah. There's one of the ninjas. Muslim. Another Muslim. They don't call it International Boulevard for no reason. Like, they took it to heart. When all these people moved over here, they're like, let's live off International Boulevard. We got half a chance then. No shit. White people are rare. From a certain block to a certain block off International Boulevard. Oh, I'll tell you what's really scary is most of the people where they got their faces covered up, there's a lot of women drivers, they all had minivans. Late model minivans. Doesn't matter what they're packing, you'll never know. You think about that. It's a box. Whatever you can put in a box, and it has wheels and an engine. If they wanted to do a number on someone, there it is. It's like, hey, grab your fucking minivan. Meet me down here at AM PM. I got some shit I want to put in it. And tell your sister and her cousin too. Bring their minivans. We're putting some shit in there. We're going to show these fuckers what's going on. They can topple some shit. It's not just one. It's like thousands of them.